than time. I come from a time beyond time, and from a time in front of time, to bring you a message from your mother and your father, and for them mama and papa too. A message from your ancestors and from your picnic them in front of you. Them say fi tell you, remember where you come from. Remember where you they go. Remember you come from strong spirit, Nani and Shango.
Fastened and the windows pinned. Keep your hand on that plow. Hold on. Noah said you done lost your track. Can't plow straight and keep a looking back. Keep your hand on that plow and hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand on that plow and hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand on that plow and hold on. Mary had a golden chain, every link spelled with Jesus' name. Keep your hand on that plow and hold on. Hold that chain and never tire. Every round goes higher and higher. Keep your hand on that plow and hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand on that plow and hold on.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Philip Sherlock Theatre on the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies. to the Musgrave Medal Awards Ceremony 2023. I have been asked to let you know that this evening's ceremony marks the 126th staging of the Musgrave Medal Awards since the first medal was presented in 1897. Please now direct your attention to the screen for a short feature on this most prestigious event.
The Musgrave Medals in gold, silver, bronze, and the Youth Musgrave are awarded by the Institute of Jamaica in recognition of notable contributions in literature, science, and the arts in Jamaica. The awards was founded in 1889 as a memorial to Sir Anthony Musgrave, who was governor of Jamaica between 1877 and 1883. Sir Musgrave founded the Institute of Jamaica in 1879. The Musgrave Medals Award existed before the Jamaica National Awards were established, and before then was the only award system to recognize excellence by Jamaicans. It comes with a unique distinction in its insistence on integrity and excellence over a sustained period. Each recipient is evaluated not only on personal or organizational integrity, but on the quality as a change agent, one who has made an impact on the quality of life of the nation, whose achievements can serve as a hallmark of excellence and an inspiration to the wider society. The Musgrave Award is not given for doing well what one is paid to do, but for going above and beyond the call of duty to produce work or to interact with others in a manner which is without price. There are 4 categories of awards: gold, silver, bronze, and youth. A gold medal is awarded for distinguished eminence in literature, science, or the arts to individuals or organizations which have taken the spirit of excellence of being an agent of change, an example of integrity to the highest level. A silver medal is awarded for outstanding merit, while a bronze medal is awarded for merit in their special field of endeavor. The Musgrave Youth Medal is awarded to young people between the ages of 18 and 25 years who are involved in community service and have shown continued outstanding scholarship, creativity, and exemplary discipline in the fields of science, literature, and the arts. The call for nomination is made in January-February of each year and closes in March-April. The medals to be awarded are determined at a meeting of the Council after consideration of the recommendations of a Musgrave Medals Selection Committee appointed by the Council. The decision of the Council is considered final. The Musgrave Medals, the most venerable awards in literature, science, and the arts in Jamaica.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening is a celebration of Black achievement and is being staged as one of the events to mark Jamaica's recognition and participation in the International Decade for People of African Descent, declared by the General Assembly of the United Nations as running from 2015 to 2024. The theme for the International Decade is People of African Descent, Recognition, Justice, and Development. So this evening gives us an opportunity to celebrate the many glorious achievements and significant contributions Jamaicans have made to humanity, to culture, the sciences, and heritage. We pause to honor and celebrate 10 stalwarts who gave and continue to give service above self. So to help us celebrate this heritage, we will be entertained by some of Jamaica's finest cultural ambassadors. Earlier, we were taken back in time by the Lacadco drum explosion and the grill, with the reminder of how strong we are as a people. Clap them again. I now invite Bishop the Honorable Harold Blair, Chairman of the IOJ Council, to do the official welcome.
Good evening to everyone. Honorable Ian Forbes, CDJP, Custos Rotolorum for the parish of St. Andrew, representing His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, ON, GCMG, Knight St. Cross, Governor General of Jamaica. The Honorable Olivia Grange, OJCD MP, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, Mr. Denzel Torp, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Honorable Marigold Hardin, CDJP, Deputy Chairperson of Council, the Institute of Jamaica, Mr. Orville Hill, JP, Deputy Chairman of Council, the Institute of Jamaica, Mr. Leslie Harrow, JP, Executive Director, Institute of Jamaica, other members of Council of the Institute of Jamaica, members of the Board of Management of the Institute of Jamaica, past and present Musgrave awardees, specially invited guests, youth ambassadors, sponsors and partners, staff of the Institute of Jamaica and the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, volunteers, ladies and gentlemen, I extend a warm welcome to each esteemed guest gathered here today for the illustrious 126th Annual Musgrave Medals Award Ceremony. Today, we unite to celebrate the remarkable achievements of individuals who epitomize the essence of Jamaican excellence. It is a celebration of the resilience, determination, and brilliance that define the Jamaican spirit. To our esteemed recipients, I offer my heartfelt congratulations. Your unwavering commitment to brilliance stands as a testament to the achievements of our people. From the literary masterpieces of fellow awardees, Claude McKay, to the groundbreaking scientific discoveries of Dr. Henry Lowe, and the captivating artistry of Barrington Watson, Jamaican excellence has left an indelible mark on the world stage. I commend the tireless efforts of the Institute of Jamaica team in organizing this prestigious event. Your dedication ensures that tonight's ceremony shines as a beacon of inspiration for generations to come. As we honor excellence in literature, science, and art, let us reaffirm our commitment to nurturing Jamaican talent and preserving our rich cultural heritage. Together, let us continue to celebrate and uplift each other, ensuring that the flame of achievement burns brightly for generations to come. Thank you all, and may tonight's celebration ignite a new sense of pride and purpose in all our hearts.
As we invite our first set of awardees to the stage, these are, of course, the 2023 Bronze Musgrave awardees. Please help me welcome Mrs. Merlene Bardowell, Messrs. Carlton Santa Davis and George Fully Fullwood, and Dr. Sharma Taylor. And now, the first vignette in the bronze category.
Mrs. Marlene Bardowell, ODE, JP, has been contributing significantly to science and technology S&T in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean for over 37 years. Her major and very substantial achievements have been made as a former group director at the Scientific Research Council, as pioneer of the development of the Jamaican Institute for Scientific and Technological Information and Knowledge, and as executive director of the National Commission on Science and Technology.
It was a science that I started with. From Miss Annie's infant school, near Castle, Clarendon, in the hills of Clarendon. I wanted to be a teacher. I had a passion, though, for information. I want to deal with the generation, the acquisition, and more than anything else, the application of information. I went to the Scientific Research Council after graduation, and there was Dr. Arnaldo Ventura. Every week he was on the media saying something about science and technology. I got caught up with that, and that sort of just launched my information career. I quickly realized I was at an institution with scientists. I knew the information that they wanted. But when you got out of the Scientific Research Council, you had to look at the wider nation. There was a business sector, there was schools, there were just the ordinary man in the street. And so I designed programs to suit all of these users. So I had a technology-based service to the business center. For the schools, I instituted a school education program. And here within these societies, the students were doing science work, they were doing essay and poster competitions, they had summer camps, they had career talks, they were really exposed to science and technology. Another thing I was pleased about was to pioneer and establish the Jamaican Institute of Scientific and Technological Information and Knowledge, which now had under it all these information-related activities that I was extremely happy about. I would like for us to have a society that appreciates, uses science, and altogether we have a nation with a culture of science. The passion is to provide information, all levels in the society. Passion is to create human resources to do this. We want to see a cohesiveness, a cohesive structure for science and technology in Jamaica. I'm happy about when your peers can recognize your work and recommend you for an award. It really is a good thing. I'm very happy about it. I thank the Institute of Jamaica for this recognition, and I also thank all the individuals who assist me along my journey so I could obtain this award.
For her contribution to science, the Council of the Institute of Jamaica is pleased to award Mrs. Merlene Bardowell, ODE, JP, the Bronze Musgrave Medal for Merit in the Field.
And now our second vignette in the bronze category.
Mr. Carlton Santa Davis and Mr. George Fully Fullwood, aka Santa and Fully. Carlton Santa Davis's drumming artistry define reggae music's uniqueness. Davis has the distinction of being recognized by his peers for his accurate tuning, melodic clarity, and ability to extend established rhythms. Ranked amongst the most in-demand drummers in the industry, Davis has toured with the likes of Jimmy Cliff, The Wailers, and Peter Tosh. As a studio musician, his recording credits include some of the most classic reggae tunes of Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, as well as Dennis Brown. Santa has recorded a succession of top R&B, country, and rock performers.
What inspired me, was the Jamaica Defense Force. when they used to have the Independence Day parades, and yeah, as a kid growing up, you see that, and yeah, it was really inspiring to me. So that's what really gave me the idea that maybe I would want to play drums. I'm proud of everything I've done over the years, but if I have to pick a few, I would say playing that song with Bob Marley called Coming In From The Cool. Peter Tosh, No Nuclear War. Also Peter Tosh, again, Mama Africa. Working with people like Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac, Johnny Clark, remember when that whole flying cymbal thing came in, and that was a big part of how people recognize me over the years. So I'm really proud of everything that I did. My advice to anyone coming into the business as a young writer, I would say have a vision of where you want to go and what you want to project. And basically commit yourself to whatever it is that you're going to write. If you're going to write music, or if you're going to write lyrics or whatever, just be committed to the idea of knowing that whatever you are doing in that aspect, or that respect, it's going to have an impact for future generations. What I did was making sure that I didn't follow any trend. I just did what I did and, committed myself to whatever I was. I would always put my whole self into whatever it is that I'm doing. And as a drummer, I just kind of didn't follow a direct rule. I just created my own rules. So, I would say that is how I want to be remembered, as somebody who took chances and make things happen. To be awarded this award by my own country is really a joyous moment, and I really appreciate the fact that, I was selected for this award. So what more can I say? Well, thank you.
George Fully Fullwood has the well-earned recognition as being one of the greats in the music industry. Bass legend and founder of the crucial 1970s Jamaican band, the Soul Syndicate, Fully Fullwood has shaped the sound of reggae music across the decades. As one of the most popular and well-known bass players in the world, he has provided the rhythmic essence for the most major reggae artists, including the all-time greats Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Joe Higgs, Dennis Brown, and Michael Rose. He has released 4 solo albums.
What inspired me to become a musician is that when I was a young boy, I always loved music. For some reason, music is just something that I can't resist. I also think that music brings people together, and that's one of my whole thing about life, is to have people from all races together enjoying life and enjoying music. For some reason, bass and drum, it's the pot that is boiling. You have to have the bass and the drum really in sync and playing so that you can dance too. So that's what inspired me to play bass.
Some of the work that gave me the greatest satisfaction is working with Soul Syndicate, my band, that we have played so many hit songs like Staglack 17 and many more.
The first thing you have to think about is the love for yourself and the love for the music. So if you don't have that love for the music and love for yourself, then you will never become a musician. And also you want to be a little more disciplined and humble. I want to remember as a person that contribute towards the music, not only reggae but different type of music, and as a good player, and have people to look back and say, yeah, Foley was a good player, and that contribute to the music industry. Winning this award is a great achievement for me, and thanks to the people of Jamaica. It's the land of my birth. It means a lot that people take the time and say, hey, Foley deserves something.
For their contribution to the art, The Council of the Institute of Jamaica is pleased to award Mr. Carlton Santa Davis and Mr. George Fully Fullwood the Bronze Musgrave Medal for merit in the field.
And now, our third vignette in the bronze category.
Dr. Sharma Taylor is a Jamaican writer and lawyer, with guidance from eminent Caribbean writers including Wayne Brown, Jane Bryce, Dr. Erna Broadber. Sharma's work has won numerous Caribbean and international awards, including the Wasafiri Queen Mary New Writing Prize and the 2020 Frank Collymore Literature Endowment Award and the Bocas Literature Festival's Johnson and Amoy Achong Caribbean Writers Prize. She lectured creative writing, prose fiction at the UWI Mona campus and is a fiction writing coach.
Before I went to high school, I wrote a story about this Rasta man on a bus, and people ostracized him on a bus. I think I may have been 10 at the time, and I showed the story to my mother, and she was blown away that I wrote it. And too bad I don't have it up to this day, but the fact that my mother, whose standards are very high, could read it and say, oh, she was impressed by something that I wrote, that for me was a moment. And then in about third form, when I was at St. Andrew High School, I remember I had a literature teacher called Miss Bala. She read my story. She said for the assignment we did, Sharma did a story and it was like the best story. And I remember she read it out and I was like, wow, this is something that I can do better than some other people. And that was a moment when I said, okay, I'd love to, when I grow up, this is something that I would really want to do. What was a turning point for me was after I finished my PhD and returned to Jamaica from New Zealand, I wrote a story about a woman who killed her husband and ended up in prison. And I remember Dr. Broadber read it and she said, Sharma, this is a good story. And I guess for me, that was where again it picked up to say, okay, let me return to this. This is something that I enjoy. This is something that people seem to like. You know, let me devote myself to that. And to be honest, if I asked myself the question in the prior 10 years or whenever, how I felt about life, I realized I wasn't feeling like myself. And I realized the reason was I had stopped writing. Because when I'm writing, I feel truly like myself and like I'm doing what I'm on earth to do. I write with our society in mind. And so I like to write about things happening in everyday life. I like to write about themes that relate to family. So belonging, love, loss, grief, betrayal, all of the things that relationships between people is what fascinates me the most. And so I find a lot of my work covers that type of theme. I'm not a full-time writer, I'm a corporate attorney. In fact, I think it's interesting when you can combine your writing with other aspects of things that you do. A lot of people want to write, but they don't make the time for it. So you have to sit down and carve out the time and actually produce words on the page. Once you've done that, it's very important to get feedback. I want to leave a legacy so that our people, our personalities, our voice, our way of life, our outlook is documented. I think I see my role as documenting our society, holding up a mirror, because again, the human experience is a human experience, no matter which culture you're from. And somehow, again, in that way, encouraging even more creativity, even more work so that it can just keep going. Receiving the Musgrave Medal for Literature in the bronze category, it means everything to me. I've won prizes from other places and competitions, but this is the first thing I received from Jamaica, my country. So it's the most significant of all, the most meaningful of all. It's good to be recognized by your people. It's good where you have a bunch of people who say, okay, I see you, I recognize what you're trying to do. It's an encouragement to keep going with what I'm doing, and it means the world to me. It really does.
For her contribution to literature, the Council of the Institute of Jamaica is pleased to award Dr. Sharma Taylor the Bronze Musgrave Medal for merit in the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sharma Taylor. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our very wise griot returns.
Great people.
Fire, me say fire, oh, fire, don't go.
Sing.
Fire, me say fire, oh, fire, don't go.
It takes a mighty fire to smelt true steel. To make and temper steel needs patience and endurance. But oh, what steel, and oh, what a people are my people. Sing! The mold is not yet made, perhaps, to unite and make my people one. But more important than the mold is the temper of the steel. Oh, what steel. Oh, what people. The temper of my people is their spirit. For theirs is a vitality, a quality of living that makes and has no equal. Sing.
Fire, me say fire, oh. Fire, me say fire, oh. Fire, don't go.
For when that steel is smelted, when that steel is cast, when that steel is tempered, oh, what a people shall my people be, led by the drums. Play on drums, play.
What a strong and resilient people we are as Jamaicans. So let us unite as we continue to move Jamaica to the place where Vision 2030 becomes a reality, a place to raise families and do business. Time now for the Silver Musgrave Awards. We welcome to the stage the three awardees: Mrs. Barbara Blake Hanna, Dr. Conrad Douglas, and Dr. Leantoinette Steins, along with our presenter in this category, the affable Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, the Honorable Olivia Grange. And now to the screen we go for the first vignette in the silver category.
Barbara Blake Hanna, OD, is a Jamaican journalist, author, filmmaker, and cultural consultant. In 1968, she became the first black TV journalist in Britain, appearing daily on the Today program in London, ATV Today in Birmingham. Mrs. Blake Hanna is the author of 6 books and has documented her life in 2 biographies. She was also appointed an independent senator 1984 to 1987. Mrs. Blake Hanna has served as cultural liaison for the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport since 2018.
I was born the daughter of a man who spent his life writing, so I couldn't help but follow in his footsteps as best I could. My one picture of my father is him at the typewriter writing, so that's where my life as a writer began. It just developed after that from being strictly a journalist to being someone who was able to express my creativity in writing. It's a curiosity to put down the words that are in my mind on paper, and sometimes I have to get up in the night and sit at my computer typewriter and put them out before my brain allows me to go to sleep. And I write a lot, most of which I never publish. Just stuff that I have to write down, get it out of me. I write about reparations, I write about Africa, I write about the sufferings of colonialism, slavery, I write about my politics. And there's a lot of things in that. I mean, food, lifestyle, ganja legalization, I wrote a lot about that. And of course, Rastafari, my culture. I think having written the first book on Rastafari, written by a Rasta, could be called my greatest achievement. That arose out of being asked by Barbara Gluten, who was then editor of The Star, to write 5 articles on Rasta. It had never been done that someone should write and explain what Rasta was. And that's what made me think, hey, this could be a book. Let me put these together in a book and write some more about it. So that was my great achievement. But writing about my 10 years in England, becoming a black English woman, and writing about racism, what it was like being a black person in Britain, and during that time becoming the first black journalist on British television, which was quite an achievement because of the amount of racism in Britain, and losing that job because of the racism in Britain. That needed a book. So writing that was very cathartic, very good to write that book, growing out black hair and black pride in the swinging 60s. My passion is my son. I'm so glad to be a mother of a wonderful son. It's lovely. It's lovely. That's my real passion, my son. I love being Jamaican. I'm glad that I was born and have grown to be a Jamaican. And I think that's a blessing. Long life as a Jamaican, as a mother. That's all I could ever want out of having lived. You know, if you're going to write an epitaph on my stone, that's all that I need. To have lived life and loved it as a Jamaican and as a mother. That's all. Jamaica is the greatest place on earth. And if anything I do is good for Jamaica and looks good for Jamaica, makes Jamaica look good, oh, I'm so happy. That's enough. My father got a Musgrave medal. He got a silver. My son got a Musgrave. He got the first Youth Musgrave Award. So I'm the last one in my family to get a Musgrave medal. I'm so honored. I'm so thrilled. Because I know what both those medals have meant to the other 2 members of my family who've received them. I know what honor Makona and my son has as a recipient of a Musgrave. So to me, it means I've made it. I've made it in my son's and my father's eyes, I've joined them on a very high plane of achievement. Yes, that's what it means to me.
For her contribution to literature, the Council of the Institute of Jamaica is pleased to award Mrs. Barbara Blake Hanna, OD, the Silver Musgrave Medal for Outstanding Merit in the Field.
And now, our second vignette in the silver category.
Dr. Conrad Douglas, CD, is an applied scientist and outstanding leader in the field of science, technology, and innovation in industry and the environment. He has been engaged in research and development work while solving various scientific, process engineering, and environmental problems locally and internationally. Dr. Douglas is part of the team examining the pros and cons of the introduction of liquefied natural gas, LNG, for the transformation of the energy sector.
I have always been fascinated with the sciences from my early childhood, I would say from my infancy. But I really didn't know that it was science at all or what it was, you know. As a matter of fact, I've been always very close to nature. I have a deep and abiding love for nature and still do, will always do. Chemistry has given me great satisfaction. I mean, to this day, at this very senior late stage of my life, the interest is still very, very deep, you know, and the flame burns strongly. The greatest satisfaction that I get from my work is the results, you know. After having made the effort, you know, do the observation, do the experiments, and you see, you get the results. I mean, there's not much more that can be as satisfying as that. And when you know that what you do, there is a goal that you're satisfying, that there's a mission or a greater vision that you're satisfying, that contributes to development, that's even more satisfying. You never know what you're being prepared for when you're subjected to a course of investigation or study. For my PhD studies, I had to do something which was most unusual. Alcan had a big problem after an industrial dispute and strike, which lasted for more than 6 weeks. And they came back to try and start up the plant, and it just wouldn't start up. They came to the university and said they want the university to help to assist it. I was the student who was sent to Alpat. I was selected to do this thing, working so close to it, Redmond, at this time for many years. I could sense immediately what might have gone wrong. And so I said, okay, this is it, calculation done, let's do the experiments. And so said, so done. Everybody was there watching. So when it worked, bingo. I don't know how they didn't fly through the roof, literally, but they did. It was costing a lot of money at the time, about $10 million US per week for 3 weeks, everything being operated, not a product being made and so on. So it was very, very satisfying. And in the field of science, we have made outstanding contribution to the world, but most of it is not known. And again, there is the need to get to the basis of the knowledge industry. I think I would have left a great database behind. Great database, having produced several publications and more than 3,200 major reports that could be invaluable for Jamaicans and other people externally, you know, for years to come. I think the part that I love most is the many persons whom I have nurtured. That's the sort of legacy. And if they could just continue the work, I'd be happy with that. There are a lot of outstanding recipients of this award. And I know the work that has been done by the Institute of Jamaica. And I know what the Musgrave Medal and Musgrave did in laying the foundations of the liberal arts and sciences in Jamaica. So to have been elevated to that echelon of outstanding persons, you know, is of great significance. And I am deeply honored, and I thoroughly enjoy.
To award Dr. Conrad Douglas, CD, the Silver Musgrave Medal for Outstanding Merit in the Field.
And now, our third vignette in the silver category.
Dr. Antoinette, choreographer, actress, teacher, lecturer, administrator, author, and visionary. She is the creator of the only Anglo-Caribbean Carimod contemporary Caribbean dance technique, Lantic. Dr. Steins, the artistic director and founder of Lacatco, a United Caribbean dance force, has led her company on tours worldwide. She is regarded as an expert in popular folkloric Jamaican dance and the development of contemporary dance technical procedures.
It started as a very little girl. The best story to tell about that is when I went to the university hospital to do an appendectomy. And one day they came back and couldn't find the children in the ward because I had them on the grass dancing. I was very small. I was maybe 11. But before that, I was always dancing. So that's where it started. Not professionally, but it started spiritually. From heaven. I think I was sent by the divine to dance. I was always dancing. I was trained in classical ballet. I was trained in many techniques, the Graham technique, the Horton technique. I started a company in Miami. Of course, I was training my dancers. Classical ballet, which is a good foundation. But then one day I said, no. Where am I in this? Where is my identity? And I sent someone to go and buy a third world album on which there was the music Sata. And my body began to do things. My body began to move to this music, which is really music. I call it music in patois because it had the classical energy of guitars, violins, but it still had the groundation of Africa, this wonderful reggae music. And from there, that time of Sata began the language, the technique called Lantic. I had started Lacatco in Miami, Florida, you know. It had gotten very famous there. And for various personal reasons and otherwise, I decided to come home. And with Lacatco becoming L'Antoinette Carimod Dance Company. And that's what it is forever. I spent 3 years doing nothing. But what I was doing was going back in the field, looking at the Coconut Man, going to the dance hall, going to Revival, going to Kumina, going all over, looking at other companies to see, okay, maybe they don't need me here, maybe they have everything already. And then I decided I have my voice. What I want to present on stage was quite different from others. It wasn't no competition of any type, just that I have a voice to say A and others say B and C. And so it began. My legacy, one of my legacies, and I think it's more than one, is holding Jamaica flag high with that culture and Jamaican history. Because when you do the technique, you have to know that this step came from Dinky Mini and it got extended into a développé. That the world will know about the technique. That I think is one of my legacies. My legacy is also my method, molding that person into a dancer. A dancer that can compete with any dancer anywhere in the world. I have one thing that I would really like to leave, and I haven't been able to do it, and I would like it to be one of my legacies. I would like dancers, professional dancers, to know that they can work full-time as a dancer professionally and be salaried. It has not happened in this country as yet, and is one of the things I'm working at. I never expected to get any award, ever. One time somebody said to me, Antoinette, you have never been given. So I said, no, because my awards are in heaven. That's a big award. But when I got the call that I was being given this award, I must tell you, it touched my soul. Not for me, but for dancers. I don't think I'm getting the Musgrave Award. I think dance is getting the Musgrave Award. But that I was chosen is very humbling. This award will make my children proud as well.
For her contribution to the arts, the Council of the Institute of Jamaica is pleased to award Dr. Lantoinette Steins the Silver Musgrave Medal for Outstanding Merit in the Field.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lantoinette Steins. Congratulations once again to our most worthy silver medal awardees. Thank you so much, awardees. Thank you so much, Minister. I hear the distant sound of drums, so I'm sure the grill is not far behind.
Is a title. Blackness is a preoccupation. Blackness is a title, is a preoccupation from which we blacks are to perceive our glory. The word black has geographic power, pulling everybody in. Blacks here, blacks there, blacks wherever they may be. But remember, you blacks, what they told you. Remember your education. One drop maketh a brand new black, almighty drop. And because they have given us kindly so many more of our people, blackness stretches over the land. Blackness, the black of it, the rest, the red rust of it, the milk and cream of it, the tan and yellow tan of it, the deep brown, middle brown, high brown of it, the olive and ochre of it. Blackness marches on. Blackness marches on. Blackness marches on.
Thank you again, oh wise griot. Thank you, drummers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for music of a slightly different style, though. But rather than telling you about it, it may be better to invite you to see it and hear it. Please welcome the talented songbird Elan Neal and her accompanist, Dr. Kathy Brown on keyboard, performing an ode to Africa.
Katali no masibushwa si
Rendition beautiful. I now take the pleasure of inviting back to the stage, as a matter of fact, a woman who has the respect and adoration of all Jamaicans. She is a proud, Black, resilient Jamaican. She is our own minister in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the Honorable Olivia Grange to address us.
Good night, everyone. Representative of the Governor General, the Honorable Ian Forbes, representing His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen. Thank you so much for coming and for representing His Excellency. And of course, a gentleman who quietly slipped in, that no one knows he's here, but it's important you know him because He's none other than His Worship the Mayor, Andrew Swaby. And I won't say the new kid on the block. And I want to thank him for coming. Tonight represents the very essence of Jamaican greatness. The contributions of our Musgrave awardees have not only enriched our cultural landscape, but have also served as guiding lights for future generations. You are the architects of our collective dreams, the guardians of our shared heritage, and the embodiment of the Jamaican spirit. Your unwavering dedication to your craft and your tireless pursuit of excellence have not gone unnoticed, and your achievements serve as an inspiration to us all. As Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, I'm indeed pleased to offer my congratulations to these distinguished individuals and commend them for their remarkable achievements. Please applaud them all. Their passion, their perseverance, and unwavering commitment to excellence serve as shining examples of the best that Jamaica has to offer. May their example inspire us all to reach new heights and to never falter in our pursuit of brilliance. Tonight, as we commemorate the 126th year of the Musgrave Medals award ceremony, we pay homage to the legacy of past recipients while honoring the achievements of the present. Once again, I must congratulate the Institute of Jamaica, the oldest cultural institution in this region. The host of these prestigious awards. You have done well. Your tireless efforts in preserving Jamaica's culture and heritage and recognizing our nation's finest are truly commendable. As your minister, I want to certainly identify with this wonderful event. And I've always held the belief that milestone commemorations should transcend mere celebrations. Events like this year's 126th Musgrave Medals Award ceremony are not just opportunities to revel in our past achievements, but crucial moments to pave the way for a brighter future. It is imperative that we utilize these occasions to leave a lasting impact on our country, benefiting generations to come. Tonight, we also recognize the upcoming 145th anniversary of the Institute of Jamaica alongside the Musgrave Awards ceremony. We stand at the intersection of history and progress, where the legacy of our past meets the promise of our future. It is incumbent upon us to ensure that our commemorations are not only reflective, but also transformative. Just as Jamaica 60 was a testament to our resilience and determination, today's events must be a catalyst for positive change. We must seize this opportunity to invest in initiatives that will propel Jamaica forward, fostering innovations, inclusion, and prosperity. By harnessing the collective talents and energies of our people, we can build a future that honors our past while embracing the opportunities of tomorrow. So let us not simply celebrate this milestone, but let us commit ourselves to projects that will shape the future of our nation. Let us ensure that the Institute of Jamaica's 145th anniversary and the Musgrave Awards ceremony serve as more than just markers in time, but as milestones on the journey towards a brighter, more equitable Jamaica for all. Let us embrace the journey ahead with optimism and determination, knowing that together, as one people, we can achieve anything. To our esteemed awardees, your talents, your dedication, and your unwavering commitment to mastery in your individual fields are the cornerstones of nation building. I wish for you tonight that your light continue to shine brightly, illuminating the path for others to follow as we build Jamaica, land we love. God bless you all. Thank you all for coming, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
We now invite our gold medal awardees to the stage. Professor Emerita Carolyn Cooper, Mr. Vivian Crawford, and Professor Marcia Roy. We also invite the Honorable Ian Forbes, Custos Rotalorum of St. Andrew, to join us on stage to make the presentation to our gold medal awardees. Now, please direct your attention to the screen for the first vignette in the gold category.
Professor Emerita Carolyn Cooper, CD, has had a consistent record of academic excellence. She retired as Professor of Literary and Cultural Studies at the University of the West Indies, where she was a visionary teacher and administrator leading a number of units. A pioneer on Jamaican popular culture, she is the author of 2 critically acclaimed books. As a cultural critic, she has made a lasting impact in the field of reggae studies, tirelessly advocating for academic recognition and curricular inclusion of Jamaican language and popular culture.
I have to big up the Jamaica Library Service because they used to come to my neighborhood. I think it was every 2 weeks. They used to come to the Windward Road School. And I used to go there and get books and read, and I just enjoyed reading. I believe that my love of reading started from early as a child. My mother was a teacher, my father was a tailor, and we grew up in a home where learning was valued. And so that's how I got started on this journey into literature. So I knew that I was going to be a teacher. As a child, I used to, model my mother teaching plants, and I would be beating the bush because, in our culture, teaching and beating go together. So sometimes as Jamaicans, we don't understand the power of our culture. We are ashamed of our language. We don't see this as something to celebrate, that African people brought here against their will, came with their culture, including the many languages of the continent. And that is one of the things I'm most passionate about. And that's why I write a column in Jamaican once a month. I must say, though, I feel a sense of victory because over the years, people have stopped quarreling about the language and they quarrel about the content. So I see this is a big improvement. One of the things that I'm proudest of is setting up the Reggae Studies academic program at UWI, because I think that is a major contribution to the intellectual life, not just of Jamaica, but of the region. That to me is one of my big accomplishments, because I came to UWI to teach literature, not to teach popular culture, but because of studying the lyrics of Bob Marley and then the lyrics of the DJs, I began to see the importance of the university being a space where the culture was going to be validated. I guess once you are thinking about what you have inherited and how it needs to be transformed, you keep finding areas in which you can apply your visionary outlook. And gender studies was another one, reggae studies, really, so these are new areas that didn't exist in the university that I was part of building up. What I would like to be remembered for is my advocacy of the value of African culture. I would encourage people who feel that they have something to say to put it down. All the aspiring people who know the value of literature is just going at it. Write what you can write. Try and get published. When I got the email, man, I had to write back and say, what a wonderful way to start the new year. I was just delighted. I am honored to have received this award. So it's nothing but great joy to be honored in this way.
For her contribution to literature, the Council of the Institute of Jamaica is pleased to award Professor Emerita Carolyn Cooper CD the Gold Musgrave Medal for Distinguished Eminence in the Field.
Professor Emerita Carolyn Cooper. And now to our second vignette in the gold category.
Vivian Crawford, OD, JP, and Cultural Administrator is noted for his dedicated and distinguished service in the field of the arts and culture. He has dedicated himself untiringly to the preservation of the maroon culture and environment. Mr. Crawford served as Executive Director at the Institute of Jamaica and Secretary to the Council for 20 years.
It started in Moortown, my childhood home, the community, and then I traveled on Massaira bus and Ramba Rose truck to Kingston, and that's for me a significant beginning, especially at the Institute of Jamaica, for the encouragement of our literature, science, and art. And then the Council of the Institute of Jamaica. God bless them. The governments over the years, especially the ministers of culture, the staff of the Institute of Jamaica, they put up with me. And all the endeavors that I attempted, to the glory of God, they were with me. I cannot evaluate what I have done. It has to be evaluated by others. When I went to the Institute of Jamaica, I visited Spanish Town. And the space where the Act for the Abolition of Slavery was read, Jamaica's greatest piece of legislation, there was no evidence this is where it was done. I said, but this place should be sacrosanct. There should be visitors here on pilgrimage. And so I proposed to the Institute that we should have a sign there. It was unveiled by Sir Howard Cook. So every time we pass there, we are to remember, this is where, on the 1st of August, 1838, the Act for Abolition was read. And of course, 2002, UNESCO's first declaration, with Dr. the Honorable Olive Lewin as facilitator and a committee of 14, that the music of the Moortown Maroons should be declared part of the intangible heritage of mankind. I was the chairman for that committee. I was just a bearer of a baton of our story, because there are those who feel that we have no story. And so, Crawford, a willing servant, is trying to share that story. And I would hope that whatever story I have on the baton, that story will be passed on, so that persons don't farm fool with us and think we are nobodies. We are part of God's creation. And notice what the award said. For the first time, it's given to someone, a facilitator to the arts. It's not a performer in the arts, but for cultural administration. That is, together like you, we are seeking to promote and to preserve our wonderful Jamaican heritage, and to say to the decision makers that it should be a priority because there are people there who want to know about us and even imitating what we are doing.
For his contribution to the arts and leadership, the Council of the Institute of Jamaica is pleased to award Mr. Vivian Crawford O.D. J.P. the Gold Musgrave Medal for distinguished eminence in the field.
And now, our third vignette in the gold category.
Professor Marcia Roy is an outstanding scientist, mentor, and educator. Her primary research is in the area of molecular virology, more specifically, the diversity of Gemini viruses and antiretroviral drug resistance of HIV in Jamaican children and adults. She initiated a novel multidisciplinary collaboration involving the University of Maryland School of Medicine, the University Hospital of the West Indies, and the Ministry of Health to determine antiretroviral drug resistance ADR in Jamaican HIV patients and improve their treatment.
I believe that we're all scientists. You know, when we were growing up as children in St. Elizabeth, we used to play in the bush. We used to collect the flowers and the leaves and grind them up and put them on paper and watch the colors separate. We watched the animals, we watched the plants grow, and it was very fascinating. So I think as children, all of us were scientists. But how I knew that this is what I wanted to do with my life, and I've been doing it for the past 35 years or so. In my final year at UWI, one of my professors, he asked me to come and volunteer in his lab. And he knew I was from a farming community in St. Elizabeth, and he wanted me to plant some red peas and inoculate them with some bacteria to see which bacteria, which rhizobium would cause the red peas to grow best. And man, the first day I remember, I went into the lab, put on my lab coat, and I started to fill those containers with soil and autoclave them. I knew from that day that this is what I wanted to do with my life. I started out studying plant viruses called Gemini viruses that were infecting crops such as tomato and beans and peppers in Jamaica and all around the Caribbean. And I was doing that for a very long time, up to 15 years. And then I started studying HIV. I sequenced the HIV virus just like how I sequenced the plant viruses and do analysis to try and find antiretroviral drug resistance for the patients who are on HIV drugs. Send the data to a website at Stanford University, and they will send us back a drug-resistant profile. And we would give that to the physician, and the physician can look at that drug-resistant profile for that particular patient and see which is the best of all the HIV drug would work best in that patient. The thing that I love the most is every December or so, we do a workshop for the Cape biology students, and they come in at UWI to our research lab, and they spend a day with us extracting DNA and looking at DNA and digesting DNA with special enzymes called restriction enzymes. And those students get really excited, and many of them come and they do science because of that workshop. So of all the things that I have achieved, that's the thing that I get the most joy with. That's what I love. So I would like to be remembered as a good mother by my children, by my students, my undergraduate students, and for my MPhil and PhD students. I hope they will remember that the science that we try to learn together, that it can have an important impact on their lives. And when I got this award, it was like the Lord was telling me, you continue to do what you're doing, Marcia, The world is appreciating it, Jamaica is appreciating it, so you just continue to do what you're doing as hard as it is. So that's what I'm doing. That's how important it was. It was like a message from God himself to say, your work is being appreciated, you are being appreciated, just continue to do the work that you're doing. And so, thank you very much, Institute of Jamaica, for helping me to make that decision.
For her contribution to science, the Council of the Institute of Jamaica is pleased to award Professor Marcia Roy the Gold Musgrave Medal for distinguished eminence in the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Marcia Roy. Congratulations once again to our most deserving gold medal awardees. And thank you so much, Custis Forbes, for doing the presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, for the penultimate time this evening, the griot will speak. I'm wondering what he will say about black excellence this time around. I could find out, no?
Black is as beautiful as a bed of milk white clouds. Black is as beautiful and as soft as newborn baby hair. Black is as beautiful as standing up for what is right. Black is as beautiful as trying on grandma's classy hats. Black is as beautiful as you and I saying hi. Black is as beautiful as seeing two sisters walking hand in hand. It's as beautiful as wading in a pond on a hot summer's day. It's as beautiful as saying, I miss you. Black is as beautiful as holding your baby for the very first time. Black is as beautiful as going fishing with your father. Black is as beautiful as calling your mother for your birthday. Black is as beautiful as seeing two brothers playing basketball. Black is as beautiful as braiding your sister's hair. Black is as beautiful as going to the park with grandpa. Black is as beautiful as hearing the sweet sounds of saxophones. Black is as beautiful as trying mama's never fail caramel cake. Black is as beautiful lilies in Easter morning. Black is as beautiful as the bright rising sun. Black is as beautiful as a simple kiss by your forehead. Black is as beautiful as saying, I love you. Black is as beautiful as saying, I love you, especially to myself. Fully knowing that black is me and I am beautiful.
Now, to speak on behalf of the awardees, we now invite the Gold Medal Awardee for Literature, Professor Emerita Carolyn Cooper, to join us on stage. Please make her feel welcome.
Thank you very much. Minister Grange and every other distinguished person in the audience. I'm not going to go through the whole list. I just want to say how happy I am to have been asked to make a few remarks on behalf of the awardees. Now, to tell you the truth, I told them that I should ask Mr. Crawford, because he's my elder. Mr. Crawford know how to speak, him know how to give joke, and him is a maroon and a man of power. Them sabotage me and tell me the literature person have to do it. So, Sibia. But Mr. Crawford, should I you? Anyhow, thank you. No, I don't like to speak on behalf of people because I think people can talk for themselves. And you heard how eloquently people talked, all of us awardees. So I find it, so what I decided to do, this morning I emailed everybody and I said, tell me how you felt when you got the announcement. I want to speak for you, but I want you to speak for yourself through me. And what was amazing was that everybody expressed this sense of surprise. It's not like all of us feel, so, boy, you know, we well and deserve this. Everybody felt surprise. It was just a joy. This is how Professor Marcero expressed it. She says, this will put 10 years on Mama's life. You know, this was a wonderful way of expressing the sense of family and the way in which her accomplishment is a tribute to her mother. Mama, she said, Mama is 76. Sharma, Merlin, Conrad, Carlton, pleasantly surprised, complete surprise, furthest thing from my mind, but greatly honored. Now, for me, Dr. Lantonette Steins' award is one of the most beautiful because, as she said, it was dance that got the award, not just her. And what she said in her message to me was, when I got the call informing me about receiving the Musgrave Medal, I had many emotions all at the same time. I was surprised, elated, and honored that my life's work is being recognized by this prestigious award, especially in the discipline of dance. And Mr. Crawford said to me, I feel privileged to be a member of the relay team of our Jamaican heritage. You saw him going into track and field. I tell you, no, he was the man to do this. So the idea of the relay team passing on the tradition is so important. Now, my own response was, what a wonderful way to start the new year. This was in January. I'm indeed honored to accept the award. But you know, Jamaica is a place of controversy. So when I told one of my friends about the award, she said, so when you're going to tell them to stop using white man name? I said, oh, you're so unreasonable. The white man set up the Institute of Jamaica. The white man was a visionary. You have to give the white man him due. No, sir. And to have that vision to say, we need an Institute of Jamaica where we can celebrate the creativity of people. You know, as I was reflecting, I said, you know, we need to have Musgrave medals for barbers, like my barber's axe, and Musgrave medals for my hair colorist, Marvia, and Musgrave medal for my hairstylist, Carol Reed, who was the person who coordinated hair and makeup for the Bob Marley movie, for the part of it that was shot here. So we need to, I think we need to extend our conception of what the medal, what the arts should be, to include some of these arts that we don't consider to be serious, but they are very important. So we need to broaden our definition of art. And as I speak, on behalf of the awardees and myself, to some degree, more personally, I want to big up the Institute of Jamaica for carrying Musgrave's medal and carrying the Institute of Jamaica and his vision into the 21st century so that all of us in Jamaica can celebrate our potential and we can see, as Ms. Lou says in one of her poems, she has a character who says, them fi stop try Jamaica small, cause a little speck can't show we independentness at all. Jamaica, we big and we broad, and we must continue to celebrate ourselves and celebrate our creativity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Cooper. Your words and the work of the awardees are truly inspirational. For the final time this evening, ladies and gentlemen, our wise griot.
I trust that you so live today, that you realize that you are the masters of your own destiny, masters of your fate. If there is anything you want in this world, It is for you to strike it with confidence and faith in self and reach for it.